ABC turned up. There's a great big hay wagon. Where you go get your breakfast.
I'm getting that. I'm working on that. So we're here, Bainbridge Farms, just south of Rothbury, and today the guys here are going through all their potential replacement heifers. They breed a type of cow called Black Baldies, which is a cross between Herefords and Anguses. We'll talk about that maybe a bit more later. But the main thing Jenny's here doing today, and I'm just tagging along, is pelvic measuring. So Simon, in the introduction when I was filming over there,
yeah,
I said these are Black Baldies. So if you had to explain to someone who didn't have anything to do with cattle what a Black Baldy is, how would you describe it?
Basically, it's an Aberdeen Angus cross Hereford.
Right. Okay.
But it could be basically it's that black beast with the white face.
That's why they're called the Baldies. Yeah.
That's why they're called the Baldy. But I'll tell you what, I've googled it for years to try and find out where that name came from, and there's no rhyme, reason, there's no sense to it. But yeah, so basically it could be any colour of cow, but all brown, all black, all red. Put it to Hereford bull, and you end up with that red beast with a white face.
Okay, and you cross. So anything that went to an Angus, anything that's out of an Angus goes to a Hereford
bull,
and vice versa.
Yes.
And when did you move to them?
I think because just to suit the type of farming we do. So we're all forage based.
Yeah.
We're all spring calving. The cows spend the summer at grass. Calves come off, and then these have all been fed a mixture of whole crop and red and white clover silage.
Okay.
So no bought-in feed. The only thing we bought in is some mineral to put in their diet.
Wicked.
And then this is a new venture.
Yeah.
So this is our only white Galloway. It's a real pretty one. So it's got the points.
Yeah.
And that's actually my daughter's calf, Abigail's.
Yeah. Okay. So you bought it for the kids.
Well, yeah.
For the kids.
But then there was a weak moment. So we bought George a Belty. We bought Abby a white Galloway. Both the calves at foot. And then I went and bought another 10. So this is the start of our Galloway herd.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I bought another 5 last week.
Farmers. We'll get a close up because it is a pretty one actually. So we'll just wind it up while Jenny's taking some pelvic measurements.
Tagman ones there.
Alright, it's 0729. So you can see there, Galloways, although it's a native breed as well, they're a different sort of cattle. So
it'll get left another year before it goes.
Yeah. So the Black Baldies will be calving down at 2 years.
Calving at 2 years old.
Galloway will be calving at 3, and you've got a bit of rougher ground you're putting these on.
Yeah, we've got some rougher ground which we can make. And I think what the Galloways are going to do is they're going to improve the grazing for the sheep.
Definitely seen it on other farms.
Oh, it's amazing. They'll go and graze where other cattle won't.
Yeah, and they'll get the bracken out and
they'll just go and eat things that others won't, and it's amazing watching them.
Oh, was that? And then in terms of the rest of the farm, Simon, you've obviously got the cattle. Be running different types of sheep.
Yeah, so we've got. I suppose we're now over the years we've been trying everything on sheep.
Yeah.
But on sheep, there's no silver bullet, and I think whatever sheep you have sheep that suit you. So what you want to do. And what suits the farm.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we're still going to have Swaledales.
Swales, okay.
Yeah. Put those to the Blue Face Leicester.
Yeah.
And then we'll crisscross a bit of kind of Innovis genetics in.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Aberfield.
Bit of Highlander, bit of Aberfield. But ultimately, we're just wanting it just to produce a fat lamb at grass.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Without any.
And you you describe as upland here, wouldn't you?
We're in upland. We're the vast majority of the farm is severely disadvantaged.
Okay.
So SDA, and then as well as the cattle, sheep. The other big part of the business now is organic laying hens.
Yes.
So
there's a shed just behind there, isn't there?
Building just behind us. Yeah, and then there's another one down at Mum and Dad's. Yeah. So we're producing about 22,000 organic eggs a day.
So lots going on, basically. Lots going on. Busy upland organic mixed farm. Michael's doing the work.
No change there.
No change. Michael, how do you describe your position here? What's your job title?
Oh, Lackey.
Lackey? Yeah, Chief Lackey at least.
Chief Lackey on the bird's eye.
And you've got
Every day's different.
every day.
And just while we're doing a bit of kind of cheap promotion,
Yes.
we've also got a holiday cottage.
Oh, of course. So it's just there. What's the name of the
holiday
cottage?
Just there. It's the granary.
The granary, and you can find that on Crabtree and Crabtree,
Yeah, you
can't
can
you?
find that on Crabtree and Crabtree.
So so just south of Rothbury, Northumberland.
Just south of Rothbury.
Close to
You've
Rothbury.
got central Northumberland, so you can go to the coast, you can go to Kielder, you can go north to kind of Cragside, or you can go south to Hadrian's Wall. So we're just
Perfect
perfectly
location.
placed
And
to
you're on a working
access
farm as well.
Northumberland on a working farm.
Exactly. So you get the authentic experience. Yeah. So you can find that at Crabtree and Crabtree, the granary. Go and get it booked up.
And you get 6 eggs.
And you get 6 eggs. 6 eggs.
Sorry?
Organic eggs. So that's Claire, the mastermind, really, Simon's wife. In the background, give us a wave.
Yeah, of course. People were just gone to pots. That's it. Does someone else want
I'm here. I'm here. I'll stop talking in a second. I'll stop talking. So, some of you will be familiar with Hereford cattle. Here's the father to some of these calves, actually. So Hereford cattle, really nice. Famously very quiet. And that's what gives these Black Baldies their white face. Go on. So the heifers here, they're getting pelvic measured.
Yeah.
They're getting weighed.
Yeah.
You're giving them a bolus, so mineral bolus.
Yeah.
Anything else? So that's sort of the full works.
Full works out there.
For today, yeah. So they'll be getting their BVD vaccine at some point.
When we're still left, what we're keeping an eye on.
Lungworm vaccine. Lepto. And you'll be checking their temperament and stuff as they go through as well.
Ah, yeah. Gets too excited. Be careful.
No, good idea. For reference, Michael's just complaining that he wasn't given fair warning, so he's not been able to do his hair. And he's not been able to tidy up either.
14 and 10.
Yeah. Sorry, say that again, Simon.
The vet touching the gates shouldn't be allowed. Look at the state of that.
So that's a common complaint, is that when we're doing this sort of mucky job, vets, we're just trying to be helpful, but we get told off for getting the handles mucky. So there's another example. Jenny, why don't just walk us through what you're doing there? It's not that easy to see. It's not really a spectator sport.
So on here is a measurement in centimetres, and there's a little arrow here. Sorry, Michael, got you covered in camera. And we use these as a pelvimeter. So we use this to measure both the vertical measurement, and it's basically the bottom of the pelvis, and the top of the top is the bottom of the spine. And we take a measurement, a vertical measurement, which comes up on this scale. So usually anywhere between sort of 9 and 17 centimetres, depending on age, something like that. And so that's the vertical measurement. We then take a horizontal measurement. So we're looking for the widest point. There's a little divot, little cave in the side of the pelvis, and we're looking for the widest point of the horizontal of the pelvis. And again, measuring off the scale, times them two together to get an internal area of the pelvis.
Right.
And then we then compare that against the work that's been done in America in terms of the known minimums for that age.
Yeah. So a lot of the work on this will be done in States,
America. Yeah. A lot of Angus, native and continental breeds.
So the reason we're doing this is to reduce the incidence of bad calving.
Yeah. The number one cause of dystocia, so calving difficulties, is calf size.
Yeah.
The number two cause of calving difficulties, dystocia, is the internal area. Think of a wine cork in a bottle.
Yeah.
If your neck of your bottle is far too small, the cork's not going to come through it. Think of it like that. So yeah, it's the number two cause of dystocia or calving difficulties. So we want to weed out the wild cards. Some of them will have naturally very small pelvises, and they're the ones we end up with calving difficulties, dead calves, cesareans, etc. We want to pull them out now. They want to go into the fat pen and not keep them. So we don't. We're going off the idea of calving cows and cesareans at 3 in the morning. We're working more towards a nice dry Thursday morning, doing a bit of pelvic measuring.
Right, so we're in with prevention rather than cure, which is sort of the common theme.
Proactive, preventative herd health planning.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the practice plug. We've had Simon's plug for the holiday cottage. That's Jenny's plug for the practice. Michael, have you got anything you'd like to plug? No. it's probably worth saying that actually calving difficulties or calving ease, depending on if you're an optimist or a pessimist, is really important. This is just one piece of the puzzle. So yes, they need to have pelvis the right size, but they also need to be put to a sensible bull. They need to be fed correctly. You need to make sure the trace element status is correct. All of these things. This is just one piece of the puzzle. It's not like you can pelvic measure them, then put them to a very hard calving bull or not feed them. Just looking to weed out those abnormally small pelvises. So Jenny's shouting out 2 numbers there. Simon's writing them down. First number is the vertical measurement and the second number is the horizontal measurement of the pelvis. It's very simple. You times those together, you multiply those numbers, that gives you an area, and then you compare that to a reference chart, and the references are slightly different depending on the age, and it gives you a cut-off. The idea below that cut-off is that you don't keep those ones because they've got abnormally small pelvises and therefore are more likely to have calving issues. So that's the reasoning behind it. Jenny will also be taking the opportunity to check that all the reproductive organs are there, all in good shape, all of an appropriate size. Like I say, Michael's there, giving a trace element bolus. He's also trimming the tails, and like I say, it's a good opportunity to get them through the crush, see what they're like. Good feet, good temperament, and that's that really. So hopefully you can hear me above the JCB, but I just thought I'd show you what the paperwork looks like. So you can see there, we've got identifier, their weight, breed rather, horizontal measurement, vertical measurement, and then we work out the area mostly later. But if the area is smaller than that reference we talked about, then they get failed. Or again, if they're a bit crackers going through the pen, like the temperament's bad, got bad feet, if they're just too small, they'll get failed as well.
So that one's too light.
Yeah, so
there needs to be 370 kilos to go to the bull.
Yeah.
329 kilos, just not heavy.
Just not heavy enough. Again, she's asking for problems if you put that to the bull, really, aren't you?
10.
How many?
13 and 10.
Fail.
Fail.
Fail. What was its weight, by the way?
So I just want to show you, so again, just compare the size of that white Galloway. And this is the sort of fail pen, which isn't very big at the minute. And most of these have been failed on size. So these are the smaller Black Baldies anyway. You can see the size of the white Galloway, and it's tiny compared to the Angus Hereford cross of the Black Baldy. That's why those Galloways tend to be bulled, i.e. mated, much later, so they're a decent size by the time they are calving. I'm sure there'll be someone out there calving Galloways at 2, but most people, I imagine, will be calving them at 3, just because they are inherently quite slow growing. You can see here, really, most of the Black Baldies are black, with some degree of white on the face, but there is a red one there, there's a dun one there as well. So they do come in a slight variety of colours, but mostly black, mostly with a white face. And they're that rotational cross between the Hereford and the Angus, so if it was born from a Hereford father, Hereford bull, it goes to an Angus, and if it's born from an Angus father, it goes to a Hereford bull. So it's that you're keeping a good amount of hybrid vigour, native genetics, so native cattle, native to the UK, Great Britain, they tend to be a bit smaller, a bit thriftier, and sort of different body shape. So Simon, this cross this system you put in last year?
Yeah, I think it was last year. So we got a grant. I think we got either 40 or 50% grants for it.
Okay.
We didn't get a grant for the concrete, but we got a grant for the crush and all the handling pens.
Bateman crush.
Bateman mammoth crush. So basically, we were having real problems with getting our stock bulls in the crush.
Yeah.
They just weren't wide enough. So this basically at the time, this was the widest crush I could find on the market.
It is. I would say it's the widest I've seen.
And it's obviously got a squeeze.
Yeah.
So if you put cars through and squeeze it, we've got a weigh crate behind it,
yes.
so we can weigh them prior to going into the crush. And then behind that, we've got what I call it the coffin. We've got a V race, so that if calves go through, they can't turn and go back.
Yes.
Obviously narrow at the bottom, wide at the top. And the crush has basically we've got an inspection door at the front, so we can do injections, TB test. It's got a sliding headstock,
Yeah.
which is really good if you've got something that doesn't really want to come through.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
open it right up, and it just looks like a clear path out.
Yeah.
Actually, we've never done a Caesar in this crush, but if we ever did need to do a Caesar, there's 3 doors on the side,
Yeah.
and you can kind of open it up whichever way you fancy. Vet inspection door, obviously the back. Save the vets getting kind of squashed
That's
or
nice.
kicked, which is really quite nice of us. Really. We should have a discount.
luxury.
No, absolutely. There should be some sort of veterinary health discount for that.
We've got a circular, semicircular,
Semicircular kind of forcing pen at the back with a gate. Down the side, we've got some kind of safety squeezes where you can get away from the cattle if you need to. And then this is a standard design, so we've got 3 pens prior to prior to going around the corner. But actually, we've put 3 more pens on the far side, which I've added on just so we've got plenty of space.
Yeah. No, it's a good.
Absolutely. Oh, it's
Are you been pleased with how it's going?
Oh, it's transformed the job up here.
Yeah, so these are the sort of 3 gathering pens or holding pens, I guess. So you can see them here. And then you've got your forcing pen, if you like, so that's the one that forces them down into the race. So cattle, as I've maybe said before, it's recognised that cattle prefer to go around curves or rather than down a straight line. So hence, you have this sort of semicircular forcing pen. And that's safe because Michael or Simon could stand behind the gate, push the gate rather than be in amongst the cattle trying to push them up. Obviously makes it safer for them. The cattle go in quite nicely because it's around that curve. And like I've pointed out before as well, sort of covered races, covered sides of the pens do make a big difference. So, Michael, what do you think, as Chief Lackey, what do you think of the handling system? Dog's body. And how have you found it so far?
Oh, it's tremendous. It's like a one-man job, basically.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You just crack on yourself.
You've got your sort of collecting pens, if you like, and then you've got your forcing pen, which is the semicircular.
You don't actually have to be in beside them at all. If
No.
you look right, if you have that next top pen empty, you're always behind the cattle and you just slip out through each gate, and that's tremendous.
Yeah, so it seems to be working well. So we're nearly at the end here, and there's a cow or heifer, that red one, and she's actually been rejected on the basis that she's a free martin. And some of you guys know what a free martin is. Basically, a free martin is a kind of hermaphrodite. So in cattle, when you have a set of twins and one is a bull calf and one is a heifer calf, so a boy and a girl, the heifer calf tends to have slightly masculinized genitalia, so often they're non-breeders. Not always, but most of the time they won't be able to get in calf. So Jenny will have felt there that she's probably lacking some of the normal female reproductive tract, and hence she's been sifted out. She'll go straight to the fat pen to be fattened, and will not bother putting her into the bull because she most likely won't get in calf. Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. We're nearly done anyway. I think the number we failed was something like 9 out of 59, so not a huge number. Okay, we'll have to leave it there. That's when my GoPro ran out of juice again, but we were very nearly done. I think Jenny failed about 10 of the 60 thereabouts, so not a huge number, and they weren't all on pelvises. Some of them were on weight. One was a white Galloway. The idea is, as she said, just to weed out the wild cards. I appreciate we covered a lot of ground in that vlog, so any questions, obviously stick them in the comments, and otherwise hit like, hit subscribe if you enjoyed that video, and look forward to the next one. See you then. Examples. This is the year, what was this?
1972.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes.
God, you're really old, aren't you?
Is that-
Great kids.